What if I don't owe and haven't filed for a few years? They owe me money. This is from Surf 6009. So it sounds like the situation here for Mr. Surf is that he would have gotten a refund if he had filed these returns that he has not filed, but he hasn't filed them. What should he do? Well, I think the obvious answer is he should, maybe it's she, but I'm going to say he should file these tax returns and get those refunds, because there is a time limit on when you can get a refund after filing a tax return. There is a deadline for each tax year, known as the refund statute expiration date. This is a 3-year clock. We've talked about other statute expiration dates on this channel. There's the collection statute expiration date, the CSED, which says the IRS has 10 years from the date of assessment of a tax to collect that tax, and that time limit can be extended for certain things. There's the ASED, that's the assessment statute expiration date. That says that gives the IRS 3 years to audit a return. Could be 6 years if there's fraud and things like that. But well, today we're talking about the RSED. That's the refund statute expiration date. What does that say? That says, in the context at least of someone who has not filed a return, that they have 3 years from the due date of that return to file that return if they want to get a refund. Okay. If they got a tax extension for that year that they want to get a refund for, they have 3 years from the extended due date of that original return. For example, so in a typical year, let's say, well, actually, let's use a real example. Let's take tax year 2020. In tax year 2020, due to COVID, the normal tax deadline was not April 15th. It was actually May 15th that year, if you'll remember. The government said, hey, the original tax deadline for tax year 2020 is not April 15th, 2021. It's May 15th, 2021. That means that you have until 3 years. 3 years from May 15th, 2021. So you have until May 15th, 2024. It's actually May 17th because there's a holiday and weekend rule, right? So you actually have until May 17th, 2024 to file your 2020 return if you want, if you're expecting a refund for that year and you want to get that refund. You can still file the return after the 3-year deadline. The government just isn't going to be writing you a check for that refund, okay? This is especially relevant to folks who don't have a lot of income, so they would probably be getting a refund anyway. But in addition to that, folks who did not get their first and second stimulus payments. Because if you didn't get your first and second stimulus payments, how could you get them? You can get them by claiming them as a refund, as a credit, the recovery rebate credit on your 2020 tax return. Now, you can still claim that credit on your tax return after May 17th, 2021, on your 2020 tax return. And that credit will still reduce any tax liability on that return. But if you're expecting a refund for that year, for 2020, whether attributable to the recovery rebate credit or something else or a combination of things, you have until May 17, 2021 to file that return. Now, if you got an extension on your 2020 tax return, okay, you have until October 2024 to file your 2020 return and get a refund, okay? So, Surf, I would say if you don't owe and haven't filed for a few years, you should file ASAP to get those refunds, or else you may lose them forever after the refund statute expiration date passes. This is true for states as well. Most states, at least all the states I've researched and my team has researched where you've had RSED issues with a client, they basically follow the same rule as the federal government, 3-year rule. Okay. There's another little nit here, which is if you make a payment on a tax year and you file like a return or an amended return for that year within 2 years of making that payment, even if we're past the 3-year rule, you could still get that payment made within the last 2 years refunded. It's kind of a technicality, but it does come up from time to time in cases. Okay, so you Surf 6009. If you don't owe and you haven't filed, file ASAP. You don't want to lose any more refunds. And in fact, there's a big RSED coming up for a lot of people for the 2020 tax year next month on May 17th, 2024. Please leave any questions about this in the comment section below. And hey, maybe I'll make a video about it. Thanks so much for watching, everybody. See you in the next one. Bye-bye.